What's going on, everybody? Welcome to your daily astrology horoscope for Friday, June 3rd, 2022. Astrologer Brian Scarborough here, Fixed Air Moon, keeping the collective fixed on astrology. Appreciate you all. Hope you're all doing well, and happy Friday. Happy Mercury direct as well. Look at the horoscope for today. Well, big news is that Mercury is now direct. It went direct at 1 o'clock a.m. on the West Coast, 4 o'clock a.m. on the East Coast. So this day really does get started with this minds back online here, kind of getting the environment moving forward again, or the things that we've had to re-understand or go deeper within, especially within our values. But also it started in Gemini, so a lot of exciting projects or things that we're trying to learn and figure out. But ultimately, it was all about like the truth of your value system. And with Saturn still direct and still in that square, it's definitely like today's the day to make some decisions, make some calls, like anything that you've been thinking about or waiting for. This is the Friday where it's like, okay, make the call for the best value. You got to step up. It's probably not easy decisions. It could be some tough conversation or just, getting out of your own mental blocks of what's connecting you to your highest character, the future that you want to create. And people, I think people are very important with Saturn in Aquarius. And we're also seeing Juno at 13 of Pisces and the sun's at 13 of Gemini. So there is this square to Juno today, which is, interesting. I think, having these projections of what this fantasy is within other people or partnerships. And it's almost like the truth really like hits hard today, and you need to have those conversations and not just like let things slip away. Because there's also the sextile to Chiron. So we're like building up on these, kind of wounded situations, but it's like, gosh, if you can just grab life by the horns here, literally with Aries, the ram, and like find your power to communicate and express what's going to be better. Oh my gosh, like today you could reap huge benefits. I think it's a very important day, and the moon's finishing up in Cancer and coming into Leo into the afternoon, and it's definitely dealing with a lot. It starts off the day trine Neptune, but it also opposes Pluto in Capricorn, gets quincunxed by Saturn. It sextiles Mercury. Like it does a lot. So trying to find this security, and I think this like emotional movement forward to speak up, to express like what's better, what's quality, and to not like hold yourself back. I feel like we're all being presented with limitations. Maybe it's monetary, maybe it's relationship stuff, but we need to not just have like this, I don't know, sensitive like, oh, it'll be fine eventually. Like, nope, today's the day. Like decisions need to be made for what's going to bring you more comfort in life, and ultimately what's moving you forward. We could have some huge, power right now. Like you can make anything that you want to identify with blow up still. But Mars is getting closer and closer to Chiron, and that's a very hard aspect. So gosh, it's like if you don't make the decision now, you could feel really wounded coming into these next, week and a half here with Mars Chiron, and feel really like, wow, I really missed my ship here to the most exciting and stimulating place. And Saturn's going to go retrograde, and it's like we reap what we sow. So, when Saturn goes retrograde tomorrow, it's like, well, did you put the work in for the value, for the connection, for the future that you want? Or have this whole time, have you just been sitting around like not doing anything? And that's where the moon opposing Pluto's like, did you step up? Like it's uncovering a lot of things in our personal life, today that we need to speak up about and have conversations. And there's a big relief to that, but it's like, you got to get real about whatever it is that you're feeling, and have the courage here. Like if you have the courage to step up, it'll pay off. And I think that's, a big point of where we're at today. And the moon finishes off in Leo. We will all feel so much better about ourselves if we don't start the day off on this like really passive, sensitive foot. But if we start the day off on a place of like emotionally expressing our wants, needs, values in life, and not settling for less, because if you settle for less, you'll end up getting less for a long time here. Like Mars and Jupiter won't meet up again in Aries like they just did until 2047. Mix that with all the other cycles that we got going on right now, with the Capricorn cycles of Pluto and Jupiter, Pluto, Saturn, Jupiter, Saturn in Aquarius, that's a 20-year cycle. So we'll get a Jupiter-Saturn conjunction before we get a Mars Jupiter in Aries conjunction. Kind of crazy. So that's how important this is for like these big things that can take off in your life right now, but you got to have the can do and the will to go do it. And you can't be afraid to have conversation. You can't be afraid to make change and pivot, because you do not want to get stuck in this cycle of feeling like you can't have it. And then there's like, a lot of sensitivity coming up about that. It's crazy town. And it can even feel that way. It's such a weird Gemini season because it's just the sun there. And we had that Mercury retrograde Cazimi at 0 degrees and a new moon here. It's like we have to make big decisions for the exciting changes to keep things stimulating right now, or we can like get kind of lost, and just be kind of like floating around and not knowing who we are, what we want, when it's like you got to step up and just be it right now and own that 100. Like, don't limit yourself. Think big about what you can do and who you are and where your future is going, and make some calls today. Don't waste this energy, because the moon will finish off the day in trine to Jupiter too. It's like if you were able to act on what you really felt deep within you was going to get you further, or build something of a sturdy foundation in your life of like what you want to accomplish and the mission, and big moments here, then there's big gifts that you can feel emotionally like, yes, all of these good feelings, all of this identification, all of this, like I did this. And maybe it is hard stuff, but at the same time, there's like a release here, and you can feel like abundance is just coming towards you for being in your power. So it's like a really important day to really find your power, find your strength, and just 100% be in that. And it's hard too, because the moon's out of bounds. 2453 north. So we can be these emotional wrecks, and even with the trine to Neptune and even Mercury sextile Neptune, like we can be way too emotionally sensitive to speak up for our values and what we want in life. And it's hard, I know, but this is where some of the biggest things, especially with the sun too at 13 degrees, this is breakdown, breakthrough. This is where we can, you can literally break through and get a spaceship that's taking you to the future that you want to be on, with the right people, the right energy, and everything can be in a really powerful alignment, but it can also be in some really like powerless feeling places, especially with a south node in Scorpio, just like, I don't have what I need something else, and or just some emotional attachment to these little insecurities within ourselves. And, we all have insecurities somewhere, but it's time to say, screw that, and do what you need to do to have better. You'll feel so much better and so much more in your body and so much happier when all's said and done, coming into this weekend, if you do. Ready for some ASMR tarot? Just kidding. I'm not going to do that again, but I'm glad it made some of you laugh. Maybe I'll mix it in every now and then. Some people were like, don't do that. And then I would say the majority of people were like, thought it was really fun. But we won't go there today. I hope you all have a great Friday though. It's a big deal. Today's a big deal. So every day is kind of a big deal. It's crazy. We don't really get many breaks with Pluto finishing up here in Capricorn in this retrograde at these late degrees. It feels like life's a constant grind, and it's hard because we're already seeing the grind that we've been so used to. It's changing too. So the times are just changing and transforming, and we gotta like transform and mutate with it, so that we can get stimulating and get things rolling, because there's a lot of new beginnings that are going to play out over the next 25 years. It's a long time. Where do you see yourself in 25 years? Do you see yourself doing the same thing you're doing right now? Do you see yourself with the same person you're with right now? Think about that story. Two of Cups in reverse. Yeah, that's very Sun square Juno. Conflict or just feeling like we're on opposite ends when it comes to relationship energy, or just when it comes to love in our life, having to balance things out and find a really beautiful harmony. You know, gosh, it's like we all want some kind of a fairy tale, but we have to realize that life isn't a fairy tale right now. And I think, instead of putting so much pressure on the other to be this, like, fill this role of a soulmate, to really, know that you're the soulmate in your life, and you have to fulfill yourself and do what you need to do. And the right people will be there with you, and the people that don't want to be a part of that, they're not going to be there, and that's okay. And we don't have to get too emotionally tied up in that, or, feeling lack there. There's definitely love out there, but today can feel a little harsh, I think, when it comes to that. But then again, we got the Lovers. Oh my God. Lovers upright. That is the hottest Lovers card, I swear. Damn. So I think, it's interesting. It's like conversation is so important right now about value and about what we want, to find like where twin-like energy is at, to find where that relationship connection is very stimulating, even if we have to have big vulnerable conversations to find out where people actually stand. We can really find healthy connections and positive connections today. Wow, these cards are crazy for relationships, and it's very Sun square Juno and the Moon upright. Gosh, things are just changing. The moon's always changing. It's always changing shape. It's always changing sign. It's waxing up to a full moon right now. There's so many things changing, and they're changing so fast, but there's also this feeling of timelessness. And we can't be too overly sensitive to listen to the truth of what our emotions are trying to say, or the truth of what's really trying to surface in our life, so that we can, take responsive action. And maybe that action is very heavily focused around people, with the Two of Cups reversed and the Lovers card. Like, the relationships we have to people are so important right now. Like, who are we emotionally bonded to? And is that in alignment with the big story that you're creating for yourself, the excitement that you want, like the future that you're going towards? Big questions today. I'll pull one more. Overall. Knight of Swords. This is where things can happen really quick. It's almost like there's been blocks, things have been slow, and here's quick, fast, in a hurry. Information's coming in. It's almost like God's kind of coming through to save the day too, and that save the day might feel like things are leaving, and it might feel like things are coming in, for depending on where you're at in life. But it's like you have to kind of accept that what's not meant to be on this story is leaving, and what's meant to be is staying, and it's coming in quick, fast. Fastest card in the deck. So lots of emotion, lots of relationship stuff, lots of conversation, lots of emotion today. But we need to have it, and we can't be scared to express ourselves. That's that Knight of Swords, because there's a reward, and that's actually finding your power, your creativity, your happiness by the end of the day. So it's a big one. I love you all. I hope you have a beautiful Friday. I'll see you all for the weekend forecast tomorrow. Much love. Peace.